Next we're going to talk about installing HRP profile runners on Ski-Doo skis. Included in the package as you receive them will be 2 runners, a set of hardware, Loctite, and written instructions. Most of you are thinking, I don't need instructions to put runners on snowmobile skis. I've been doing it for 30 years. Well, this process is totally different than what you're used to, and you really need to follow the instructions. I'm going to go through the steps today, but the written instructions are very clear, and it can be done without seeing this video. First, you have to remove the skis from the snowmobile. You can't put these runners on the skis the first time with the skis on the snowmobile. There's too many steps involved. As you can see, we've got a ski from a previously run machine, so it's well worn. And you can see that there's wear along these edges, and when the ski came off, these pockets would be full of dirt and so on. All of these pockets have to be completely clean of any dirt or debris, and along these edges they must, if the plastic is folded in along these edges, those edges must be pulled back in order to allow the runner to sit down into the groove properly. So just simply take a screwdriver or some appropriate tool and scrape those edges back until the runner can fit nicely into the ski. Next, we're going to show an example of a runner that does not fit the ski properly because it's the wrong ski, and a runner that fits the ski properly. This is a 2009 Pilot 5.7 ski. And you can see when we try to put the runner on the ski, it does not fit properly. The shape and profile of the ski itself does not match the runner, and it will not go into the groove. This will not work. Now we take the same runner and put it on a 2015 ski, and you can see that the runner fits nicely into the ski and matches the profile of the ski very closely, even without any fasteners. Next, we're going to show an example of the Pilot 5.7 ski and the runner, which doesn't fit quite right. This is a 2015 ski from the same snowmobile that the previous ski we just showed you. So it's exactly the same ski. You can see that when we put this runner on this ski, it doesn't match up near as nicely as the first ski. This is normal. This is caused by the variances in the plastic moldings themselves. This is not something wrong with the runner. This is not something wrong with the ski. Once the fasteners are put into the runner itself and pulled up to the ski, everything will match nicely. Next, we're going to show you the tools that you'll need to install the runners. Basically, you can see here what we have: 3/8 inch socket, 7/16 end wrench, box wrench, 5/32 Allen. This very important tool, tapered punch. Most any of you gearhead guys are going to have something like this in your toolbox. 1/4 inch drill and a propane torch or MAP gas torch, which is what this is, and a small hammer. We call these Ski-Doo tools, by the way. The next step in the process is to mount the runner to the ski. Easiest way to do that, put the ski in the vise, set the runner in the ski. Should sit in nicely. Everything should line up. The ski should be straight with the runner. If you notice that the ski is way out of shape with the runner, there's something wrong with the ski. You can't fix that ski by putting a runner on it. If the ski is bent in some way, you may have to replace the ski before you can install these runners. Next step, turn it over, put the runner in the vise. You can see that the holes, the threaded holes in the towers, line up with the holes in the skis themselves. If everything lines up correctly, you know you've got the right runner and the right ski. Next, we're going to fit the center bolt spacers into the plastic skis. If the ski is new, the rear holes typically are large enough where the spacer slides right in. The front hole will be slightly smaller and the spacer won't go in easily. Use your tapered punch. Simply install it into the ski, tap it in with the hammer, remove it, and enlarge this hole until the spacer fits nicely into the ski. Now, if you're doing this on used skis, a lot of times the holes will be compressed from the original runners being over tightened. And again, you would use the tapered punch, go into the holes, and enlarge the holes until the spacers fit into the skis nicely. Do not use a drill to enlarge these holes. It's too easy to make the holes bigger than necessary, and you can ruin the skis quite easily by trying to drill these holes. Next, apply Loctite to the center screws only. Then use your propane torch to heat the tower areas of the runner where the threaded holes are. Next, lightly set the ski in place so that the holes line up. Thread in the screws into the runner with your fingers only. Get them started. Next, use your speed wrench or your socket and ratchet wrench and tighten the center bolts. The center bolts are 1/4-inch bolts. Be careful not to over tighten these bolts. The maximum torque is 10 foot-pounds. You can see that I have a very short wrench with little leverage. Even with this, it's quite easy to over torque and break these bolts. Be careful that you don't over tighten these bolts. After the center bolts have been tightened, the runner should be pulled nicely up to the ski in this area. And there should be some gap at the ends of the runners. The skis, again, vary greatly in how much gap they will have at these ends, and this is normal. There's nothing wrong. It's simply a variance in the plastic moldings themselves. One of the benefits of this runner is that it's strong enough to bring the ski to the runner and properly shape each ski to match the runners. Next, we're going to locate and drill the end holes for the runner itself. On a Pilot 5.7 ski. You can see there's a nice centerline groove that lines up the center line of the runner easily and nicely. You simply just line up the ski and drill the hole. It's as simple as that. Repeat the same process in the front of the ski, and your end holes are done. On a DS2 ski, the ski is straight at the back, so what you will do is you'll take a tape measure and be sure that the distance from the runner to the edge of the ski is the same on both sides. Then drill your hole. You may have to hold the ski one way or the other slightly to align and drill the holes. Next, install your end screws. You can see the gap in the ski at this point, and you can watch as you tighten the screw, the plastic ski easily comes down and meets the runner. Again, you stop at 10 foot-pounds of torque on these screws, and the nut should not be compressed into the plastic ski. If you over-tighten this screw, you'll see the nut compressing into the plastic, and that's too tight. Now you're finished mounting your first HRP profile ski runner. You can see the runner is pulled up nicely to the ski. All of your fasteners are in place. I realize it took you a while to get this far. The second ski goes much more quickly than the first ski. You may be curious as to why we heated the ski runner before we installed the center screws. This is to cure the Loctite. Before you put the ski on the floor, you must have that Loctite completely cured. Once the ski is on the floor, the Loctite will not cure. So if you're replacing ski runners, what have you, you want to make sure that that Loctite is fully cured before going out into the cold with those skis. Next, we're going to talk about ski alignment. It's a good idea to check your ski alignment to make sure that you get the most from your profile runners when you install them. First step, walk up to the snowmobile, pull the ski tips in. This removes any free play or looseness in the steering and makes the skis towed in as far as they possibly can be. Next, it's helpful to have an assistant to hold the tape measure in place. You measure from the left to the right side on the front of the ski runner bolts. Get your measurement. Next, the same measurement in the back. And you note what this measurement is. The measurement in the front should be equal or 1/8 of an inch more than the measurement at the back of the ski. This means that you should have roughly 1/8 of an inch of toe out at all times. This is the proper number for any basic snowmobile, any model of snowmobile. They're all about the same. The way you would adjust that is this tie rod on either side can be lengthened or shortened to adjust the steering toe. Now, you can do just one of these if the skis are fairly close. If they're way out of straightness and your handlebars aren't true to your skis, then that's a lot more complicated process to make that alignment. But basically, if your skis are towed properly, that's all we're checking here today.